This is going to be a quick tutorial on modeling a mesh using Bezier curves, and you're basically going to draw it. I'm using Blender 2.49b, but the same rules apply to 2.5, 2.62, and the others when it comes to this. So I'm going to delete my cube. If you're using the later models, 2.5 or above, you're not even going to have this cube. At least I don't in 2.6. And so what I'm going to want to do first is I'm going to go to View, and I'm going to load my background image. I already downloaded an image of a goblet. You guys, depending on what you're making, just load your image here. So click on Background Image, Use Background Image, and then Load. I'm going to load Glass Goblet JPEG. And there's my image. Now your blend slider on this, if you turn it down, you're going to get a more opaque image. If you turn it up, it's going to be more transparent. So I'm going to put it at about 85%, so it's barely there. You're going to have to bear with me on doing some of these curves because when I'm recording, I'm usually using a lot smaller Blender screen and resolution than I usually do, so it's kind of a pain in the butt for me. I'm going to add curve, Bezier curve. If we zoom in, that's what our curve looks like. I'm going to go into edit mode, and you'll notice that there's these little handlebars on it. Now you can move your curve by selecting the middle like this, and you can actually change the angle of your curve by grabbing on the handlebars and using them as sliders. So we're going to start out by taking my curve and bringing it down to the bottom where I want to start my point. You could actually hold G on your keyboard and just bring the whole thing, but I am just going to do it like this. As you play around with this, you'll find your own favorite ways to do stuff. Now, if you select on your endpoint, you can start another curve. What you're going to do that is hold Control on your keyboard and hit left click on your mouse. And now I have another curve. I actually think I like it right there at that point. So now I'm going to change this a little bit by clicking on my handlebars, bringing it down. And if you're wondering why I started so far up on the glass right here when I started, basically most wine glasses have an indent on the bottom, so that's going to create our indent. Now we're going to hit Control and create another curve. Just kind of manipulate it in place using our handlebars. Then hit Control and create another. And you're just going to do this all the way through while you're tracing the outline of your shape. Now, it's not going to be enough to go up to the top. The glass has some thickness here. We're making this 3D, so you're going to have to bring another line all the way back down to the center here. So, create another curve. This one I can actually probably stretch quite a ways. Now you notice I lined up with the y-axis here on my centers where I started and where I finished. I'm going to go over here to my blend slider and just totally make the picture disappear. And you'll kind of see an outline of part of the glass. So I'm going to go to, you can either go to select here and deselect all and then select all. You can also do that with A, the hotkey on your keyboard, deselecting, reselecting. And you're going to want to go to object mode, and here's your outline. And then you're going to want to hit Alt and C to convert your curve to mesh. Now you have a mesh curve here. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you place this on the y-axis, because that's where you're going to want to spin around. So you notice I click and it's changing my point here. I'm going to want to click from the top view right here. So I'm going to go up and maybe a little bit outside. And it's just not wanting to place right, is it? That's okay, because you can also manipulate where this is at. So I'm going to manipulate this over a little bit, make it line up with the center. I'm just going to close out my background image for now because I don't need it. Then I'm going to go back into edit mode. And then down here we have our spin options. On degrees, I'm going to want to make this go 360 degrees all the way around. And steps, you can think of more like different segments that are going to go all the way around. So I'm going to want 21 segments or steps. And basically from here, you're just going to hit spin. Oh, no valid vertices are selected. See, they're all purple. So you can either, like I said earlier, go here and select or deselect all, or I'm just going to use hotkey A. Now they're all yellow. Go back up. You're going to want to make sure you do this from the top view because it's going to spin around from the top view. If you did this from the side, you're going to end up with a big circle. So now we're in top view, hit spin, and I can rotate my camera back down, and we have us a goblet. Let's go back to object mode so you can see this a little better. And you have a mesh wine glass goblet or whatever you're tracing. Hope this helped somebody out. That's how to basically create a symmetrical mesh using Bezier curves in Blender, and hope you learned something.